Imagine this. You're facing a challenge that seems impossible to overcome. The world is pressing against you, telling you that you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. Every single step forward feels like you're walking through a storm. But then, something shifts. It's as if you've tapped into a hidden reserve of strength, an unshakable force within you that pushes you to move forward when everyone else would have crumbled. Your mind becomes your greatest weapon, and your thoughts start to shape reality in ways you never thought possible. What if I told you this isn't a fantasy? What if you could build a mind so unbreakable that it terrifies those who doubt you? The truth is, you are already in possession of the raw materials to forge this kind of mental toughness. Your brain, that incredible organ, has an almost limitless ability to adapt and rewire itself. This is neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change and grow in response to experience. The difference between those who crumble and those who rise is this: the ability to control the environment inside your mind. When you face hardship, most people retreat. But the person who builds an unbreakable mind doesn't shrink from discomfort, they embrace it. You must seek out challenges, step into the unknown, and train yourself to become comfortable in situations that would normally send others running. It's not about avoiding fear, it's about understanding fear, mastering it, and using it to fuel you. This is where the strength begins. Now, here's the secret. It's not about sheer willpower. No, the key is in consistency and practice. Every time you face a setback, every time life throws you a curveball, it's an opportunity to strengthen that mental muscle. The brain doesn't grow in ease, it grows in resistance. Just like lifting weights builds physical strength, pushing your brain to endure stress and discomfort strengthens your mental capacity. You don't build an unbreakable mind in comfort, you build it in adversity. But here's the kicker. Most people think strength comes from a single powerful moment of overcoming. In reality, it's 1,000 small moments. Every time you refuse to quit, every time you choose to get up one more time after you've been knocked down, you are strengthening that foundation. It's the tiny, seemingly insignificant moments of perseverance that add up over time. You see, your mind is like a muscle. When you train it consistently, when you challenge it with complexity and pressure, you build resilience. And resilience is the key to mental fortitude. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the stronger you become. And soon, your mind becomes a fortress that no one can break into. And while you're building this unbreakable mind, something incredible happens. People will begin to notice. They'll sense that quiet, almost unshakable confidence. It's not arrogance, not overconfidence, but a deep, unspoken certainty that no matter what happens, you will not be moved, you will not falter, you will not crumble. And it's that certainty that will terrify people. They won't know how to handle someone who doesn't crack under pressure, someone who can stand unflinching in the face of challenges that would make most people cower. You see, it's not about being invincible, it's about being unmovable. And once you cultivate this level of mental toughness, you stop fearing the opinions of others, their doubts, their criticism, their judgment. None of it can shake you because you have already built a mind that stands firm, unyielding to external forces. It's about becoming the person who doesn't just survive the storm, but thrives in it. And the best part, you won't have to tell anyone you've done it. They'll see it in the way you move through the world, in the way you face challenges, in the quiet power that radiates from you. That's the power of an unbreakable mind. It's not something you announce, it's something you become. So, ask yourself, what are you willing to endure to build a mind that is truly unbreakable? What discomfort are you ready to face head on, knowing it's shaping you into someone who cannot be moved? That's where your true strength lies. You have the power to create a mind so strong, so resilient, that it will terrify the very people who once doubted you. Imagine for a moment when you feel the weight of the world bearing down on you. It's in that very moment when everything inside you is screaming to quit that you are presented with an incredible opportunity. You see, your mind can either shrink from the pressure or expand in response to it. And this is where most people falter. They see adversity as something to avoid, something to escape. But here's the truth. Adversity is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. The brain thrives on challenges. This is not just theory, it's biology. The more your brain is exposed to stress, especially in a controlled and intentional way, the stronger it becomes. Think about a muscle. It only grows when it's pushed beyond its normal limits. The brain works the same way. When you experience adversity, whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological, it forces your brain to adapt, to reorganize itself, to find new pathways for problem solving. Every time you face a challenge head on, your brain is hard at work, creating stronger neural connections. It's a process called neuroplasticity, which means that your brain literally changes, becomes more resilient, more capable of handling future stress. However, most people, when faced with discomfort or difficulty, choose to run. They avoid the situation, they take the easy route, and in doing so, they rob themselves of the opportunity to grow. But think about the people who've been through unimaginable hardship, those who have endured the most difficult circumstances. What sets them apart is not just their ability to survive, but their willingness to lean into that discomfort, to face it with courage, and to use it as fuel for growth. In the process of building an unbreakable mind, you must embrace adversity. You must actively seek it out. It's not about pushing yourself to the point of breaking, but rather pushing yourself to the point where your growth is inevitable. Every challenge you face is like a weight being added to the bar. It will feel heavy. It will test you. But with every repetition, your mental strength grows, and soon what once seemed impossible will become second nature. When you think of building an unbreakable mind, it's easy to imagine a singular, transformative event, like a massive breakthrough or an epic moment of triumph. But the reality is far more subtle and far more powerful. True mental strength is not about one heroic effort. It's about consistency, about showing up every single day with the intention to improve, to grow, and to become stronger in the face of life's challenges. This is where most people fail. They expect results to come quickly, and when they don't, they give up. But here's the key. Mental strength is built through the compounding effect of small, deliberate actions taken over time. So think about it this way. Every time you make the decision to keep pushing forward, to keep grinding, you are programming your brain to become stronger. The key is showing up day after day, even when the progress feels slow, even when the work feels grueling. It's that consistency that turns small, everyday actions into the foundation of an unbreakable mind. The power of the brain is incredible, often more than we give it credit for. One of the most profound abilities it has is the capacity to rewire itself through a process called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's inherent ability to form new neural connections and adapt in response to experiences. It's what allows us to learn new skills, recover from injuries, and most importantly, build resilience in the face of adversity. But what does this mean for you? It means that the power to transform your mind, to build a mental fortress, lies within your grasp. And it starts with how you engage with the world around you. When you expose your brain to stress, to challenges, to discomfort, you are not simply enduring, you are training your brain. This is critical because for so long we've believed that our brains are static, essentially hardwired in a certain way that determines how we think, how we react, how we feel. But in truth, your brain is incredibly malleable. Every time you overcome a challenge, every time you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, your brain forms new pathways, strengthening the very circuits that allow you to handle stress, focus under pressure, and persevere when things get tough. Here's the fascinating part. Neuroplasticity doesn't just occur when you succeed. In fact, some of the greatest strides in mental toughness come from the moments when things don't go as planned. The brain actually learns the most from failure. When you fail, your brain goes into a mode of problem solving and adaptation, trying to find new ways to handle the stress, the disappointment, and the obstacles that arose. This constant adaptation is what builds resilience. It's why people who are constantly pushing their limits, who are willing to confront challenges head on, are often the ones who possess the most unshakable minds. The beauty of neuroplasticity is that it's not limited to a specific set of challenges. Your brain can adapt to all kinds of stress, from physical endurance to mental and emotional strain. The more consistently you engage with stress, the more your brain reconfigures itself to meet those demands, making you stronger, more resilient, and capable of handling whatever life throws your way. So when you push through difficulties, when you endure, when you face those moments that seem insurmountable, remember, you are literally changing your brain. You are making yourself more capable, more powerful, and more unbreakable with every challenge you face. Fear is an instinctual response that many of us try to avoid or suppress. But what if I told you that fear isn't something to run from, but something to understand and, more importantly, to leverage? Fear, in its essence, is an evolutionary mechanism designed to protect us, to keep us safe from danger. But in modern life, the vast majority of our fears are not about physical survival, they're about mental survival. They're fears of failure, judgment, rejection, and inadequacy. And here's the most critical part. Fear is the gateway to growth. Every time you encounter fear, your brain reacts in a way that's deeply ingrained in our biology. It floods your body with hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, heightening your senses, preparing you to fight or flee. This response is powerful and it's useful in situations of immediate danger. But when it comes to building a strong, unbreakable mind, fear becomes a tool, a signal that you are stepping into new territory, that you are on the cusp of growth. The key is not to avoid fear, but to embrace it and use it to propel you forward. When you push past the fear, you're signaling to your brain that this is not a threat, but an opportunity for adaptation. You are not just surviving fear, you are actively reshaping your brain's response to it. Each time you face fear and move through it, you rewire your brain to become more resilient, more capable of handling that same fear in the future. It's like training for a race. The more you run, the easier it gets, until eventually what once paralyzed you becomes a challenge that excites you, a force that motivates you rather than holds you back. Fear also serves as a powerful motivator. When you feel fear, it's often a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where the growth happens. It's in those moments of discomfort, when you feel your heart racing and your palms sweating, that you are building the very resilience that makes you unbreakable. Fear tests you, yes, but more importantly, it teaches you. It shows you what you're truly capable of when you refuse to. It's not the absence of fear that makes you strong, it's your ability to face it, to master it, and to use it as fuel to become something more. Mental strength isn't built in one grand moment of triumph. It's not about waiting for that single, life-changing experience that will shape you forever. Instead, it's the result of 1,000 small decisions, actions, and moments of perseverance that accumulate over time. The truth is, each time you choose to keep moving forward despite the odds, you are laying the foundation for an unbreakable mind. These moments of perseverance are often quiet, unnoticed, and even insignificant in the short term. But over time, they compound to create a mental fortitude that is nearly invincible. Think about it. When you face setbacks or challenges, it's easy to feel like giving up is the only option. You feel defeated, drained, and sometimes it seems like the obstacle is insurmountable. But here's where the power of small moments lies. Each time you resist the temptation to quit, each time you take one more step, even when it feels impossible, your brain is learning something profound. It's not just about overcoming a specific challenge. It's about teaching your brain that setbacks don't define you. You are not defined by your failures, but by your ability to persist despite them. The brain's neural circuitry thrives on these repeated acts of perseverance. Every time you push through, your brain strengthens its pathways for resilience. You rewire your mind to focus on solutions, to develop grit, and to embrace discomfort as part of the growth process. It's through these small, repeated acts of not giving up, even when things feel tough, that you slowly start to build a mindset capable of handling far greater challenges down the road. What's also critical to understand is that these small moments of perseverance accumulate in ways that might not be immediately visible. The transformation happens gradually, imperceptibly, and often without any applause. But the difference is clear over time. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes something you approach with confidence. So when you find yourself in the trenches, facing adversity, remember, it's not about the one big moment. It's about choosing to keep moving, one small step at a time. When we think about mental strength, it's easy to assume that it's about sheer willpower, gritting your teeth and pushing through no matter what. And while willpower does play a role, true mental toughness is about something deeper: resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to recover from setbacks, and to continue moving forward even when life gets tough. It's not about pushing through everything blindly. Instead, it's about knowing how to recover, learn, and adapt in the face of adversity. Here's the key. When you rely solely on willpower, you're working against your body's natural energy reserves. Willpower is finite. It can be drained quickly, especially when you're under prolonged stress. Resilience, on the other hand, is built on an understanding that setbacks aren't the end, they're part of the process. Resilience doesn't just help you survive difficulties, it helps you thrive in them, to learn from each failure, to see each challenge as an opportunity to grow strong. The ability to rise again, to adapt, is far more important than raw determination. And the best part, resilience isn't a trait you're born with, it's something you can cultivate. Your brain, in its incredible capacity for neuroplasticity, is always adapting and changing in response to your environment. When you experience a setback or failure, your brain doesn't just shut down or give up. It looks for ways to adapt, to improve. If you can learn to see these setbacks as learning experiences rather than insurmountable obstacles, you can train your brain to become more resilient. This is where true mental strength is forged. It's in the moments when you feel the urge to give up, but choose to keep going. It's in the times when you've been knocked down, but you get back up and try again. Over time, these moments don't just help you recover, they help you bounce back faster, with greater focus and with a deeper sense of purpose. So, when life gets hard and you feel like you can't take another step, remember, it's not about sheer force. It's about resilience, the ability to adapt, to learn, and to keep going no matter what. The mind, just like any other part of your body, is a muscle that requires consistent training to grow stronger. And just as you wouldn't expect to lift heavy weights without progressively increasing the load, you can't expect your mental resilience to grow without consistently subjecting it to challenges. The key here is deliberate practice. You need to put your mind under stress, not in an overwhelming way, but in a controlled, intentional manner that pushes your limits, making your mental muscle grow stronger each time. When you engage in mental challenges, your brain undergoes a process called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to rewire itself and form new neural pathways in response to stress. This means that every time you step outside of your comfort zone, your brain is actually restructuring itself to better handle similar challenges in the future. But the critical factor here is consistency. Mental strength isn't built in a single instance of challenge. It's the daily, repetitive act of choosing to face difficulty rather than avoid it that makes all the difference. Just like you wouldn't run a marathon without preparing for months, your brain can't handle the heavy psychological lifting without building up to it. Small, manageable stressors, like tackling a difficult task, having a tough conversation, or making a decision under pressure, are the weights you use to train your mind. The more consistently you expose yourself to these mental challenges, the more resilient your brain becomes. It adapts and strengthens just like a muscle responding to consistent training. And here's the beauty of this process. Over time, what was once difficult becomes second nature. Tasks that once caused you anxiety or stress will start to feel easier. The pressure will feel lighter. This is the reward of consistent mental training. And much like lifting weights, mental strength requires progressive overload. You start by handling small challenges, then gradually increase the complexity and intensity of the challenges you face. The more you challenge your mind, the stronger it becomes. In the end, training your mind is not a one-time event, but a daily practice. It's about building the mental endurance to face whatever comes your way with greater resilience and strength. The more you work your brain, the more capable you become. One of the most powerful aspects of building an unbreakable mind is developing a deep, unshakable confidence that comes from within. This confidence isn't about arrogance, nor is it about pretending to know everything or to be invulnerable. It's about a quiet inner certainty that no matter what challenges lie ahead, you have the capacity to handle them. And this is not something you are born with. It's something you can cultivate over time by consistently proving to yourself that you are capable. Here's the key. Unshakable confidence arises from the proof you create through your own actions. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you overcome a challenge, your brain forms new neural connections that solidify your belief in your own abilities. This isn't just about a single win. It's about the accumulation of countless small victories. The moments when you chose to face adversity rather than shy away from it. With each of these small successes, your brain sends a signal to your subconscious that you are more than capable of handling whatever comes your way. This process works through a mechanism in the brain known as the dopamine reward system. Each time you successfully navigate a challenge, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter that reinforces the behavior. It's a feedback loop. You face a challenge, you overcome it, and your brain rewards you with a sense of accomplishment. Over time, this reinforces your belief in your own ability to succeed, which in turn makes it easier to face the next challenge. What's most powerful about this kind of confidence is that it's grounded in reality. You've proven to yourself that you can handle difficulty, that you can persevere when things get tough. This confidence doesn't rely on external validation, it's internal, built on the rock-solid foundation of your own experience and self-reliance. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't waver when the world tests you. It's the kind of confidence that terrifies others because they sense that you are unwavering, that no matter the storm, you will stand firm. So when you find yourself questioning your ability or feeling doubt creeping in, remember this. You've already proven you have the strength to keep going, time and time again. That's where your true power lies, within you. And that, my friends, is the confidence that will carry you through anything life throws at you. When you begin to cultivate an unbreakable mind, one of the most important shifts you can make is to stop seeking approval from others. The world is full of distractions, judgments, and external voices that constantly tell us who we should be, what we should do, and how we should act. But when you're building a resilient, powerful mind, seeking approval from others becomes a dangerous trap that undermines your ability to think clearly, act decisively, and stay focused on your own goals. External validation, whether it's praise, recognition, or acceptance, can feel good in the moment, but it's fleeting. It's a temporary high that doesn't provide the deep sense of fulfillment and confidence that comes from within. Seeking approval means relying on other people's perceptions of you to determine your worth, which ultimately leaves you vulnerable to their judgments and opinions. The more you rely on others to tell you who you are and what you should do, the less power you have over your own life. You start living for others instead of living for your own purpose and growth. Instead of seeking approval, start seeking alignment with your own values and goals. When your actions are guided by your own internal compass, when you are aligned with what truly matters to you, external validation becomes irrelevant. This shift doesn't mean you stop caring about the opinions of others. It means you stop letting those opinions dictate your decisions. You begin to trust your own judgment, your own instincts, and your own ability to navigate the challenges of life. When you no longer need the approval of others, you free yourself from the constant pressure to conform, to please, and to fit in. This internal shift is powerful because it creates a deep, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are acting in line with your true self, not trying to be someone else to win favor. It strengthens your resolve and keeps you grounded when the world throws obstacles your way. The more you strengthen your inner sense of purpose, the less power external judgments have over you. You become free to act with conviction, knowing that the only approval that truly matters is your own. When you are in the process of building an unbreakable mind, one of the most transformative shifts you can make is to stop merely surviving the storms of life and instead begin to become the storm. This means shifting your perspective from being a passive participant in your own life to becoming an active, unrelenting force that shapes and drives your destiny. The moment you understand this shift, you begin to understand true mental strength. Life. will always present challenges. No one is exempt from difficulties, setbacks, or adversity. But the difference between those who emerge stronger and those who are broken lies in how they respond to these challenges. The key is not to wait for the storm to pass, but to realize that you have the power to become the storm itself. You become the force of nature that pushes through, that doesn't retreat when the winds pick up or when the path ahead becomes unclear. Instead, you move forward with purpose, focus, and determination because you understand that the discomfort, the resistance, and the chaos are not threats. They are opportunities for growth. This mindset doesn't mean you won't feel fear, frustration, or doubt. It means that you no longer allow these emotions to control you. When you become the storm, you become the source of your own energy, your own momentum. You stop allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel or how you respond. Instead, you harness those emotions, those challenges, and use them to fuel your growth, to drive you toward your goals, and to sharpen your mind and willpower. The idea of becoming the storm means that you don't just face difficulties, you charge at them. You don't just endure pain, uncertainty, or failure, you learn from them, adapt to them, and transform them into stepping stones that propel you forward. With each storm you weather, you grow more resilient, more capable, and more powerful. You become someone who isn't just trying to survive the chaos of life. You are the force that commands the chaos, that shapes the world around you. And in doing so, you become the unbreakable force that terrifies anything in your path.